Digital citizenship refers to the responsible, ethical, and safe use of digital technology and the internet to participate in online communities and society. It involves developing the knowledge, skills, and values to act responsibly online.
Let's talk about something that affects pretty much every student out there, their digital toolkit. And I'm not just talking about knowing how to swipe and tap on a smartphone. No, this is about the real skills you need to navigate our modern world. And believe me, there's a huge difference.
So you've probably heard this term thrown around a lot, right? Digital natives. It's this idea that because kids grow up surrounded by all this tech, they're automatically experts. But are they really? I mean, can they actually tell a credible source from a fake one? Can they spot an online scam a mile away? That's where things start to get, well, a little complicated. And right there, that's the whole point. Look, being able to swipe, tap, and post, that's one thing. But actually understanding the tech, how to use it effectively, safely, and ethically, that's a totally different ballgame. It's this gap, this space between just using tech and truly understanding it that we're going to dive into today.
So what's the solution? Well, it all comes down to something called digital literacy. And this isn't just some boring school subject. Think of it as the actual foundation you need to build a successful life in today's digital world.
Okay, so here's the official definition. I want you to pay attention to the verbs here, the action words: find, evaluate, use, create, and share. See, digital literacy isn't a passive thing. It's all about actively, and more importantly, critically engaging with the massive amount of tech and information that's all around us every single day.
So what does this actually look like for, say, a middle school or high school student? Well, it means understanding why that new app you downloaded is asking for access to your contacts. It means seeing a wild news story on your feed and having that little voice in your head that says, wait a minute, what's the source on this? It's knowing how to collaborate with classmates on a project online without drama and how to participate in online communities while keeping yourself safe. We're talking real-world stuff here.
All right, let's break down this toolkit even further. There are basically 6 essential skills that build on each other.
And what's cool is there's a real progression here. It all starts with step 1, right? Digital tool proficiency. That's just the basics, knowing how to actually use the tools. But then you build on that. You add information literacy, which is about finding what's true, and media literacy, which helps you decode the messages you're constantly bombarded with. Then you get to steps 4 and 5, which are all about how you interact with other people online. Communicating well and just being a good, responsible digital citizen. And all of that leads up to the final step: computational thinking, which is a fancy way of saying you can use technology to solve really complex problems. Each one is like a building block for the next.
Okay, so this all sounds good in theory, right? But let's put this toolkit to the test with a super common real-world threat that pretty much everyone has to deal with: phishing. This is where all those skills we just talked about suddenly become incredibly important. So, what exactly is phishing? Honestly, the best way to think about it is as a digital con game. You've got scammers pretending to be someone you trust. Maybe your bank, maybe Netflix, maybe even your school. And their whole goal is to trick you into giving up your personal information. And the scary part, it happens all the time, and it works way more often than you'd think. And the name itself is a pretty great analogy, right? It's a play on the word phishing. The attackers dangle some kind of enticing lure. Maybe it's an email saying you've won a gift card, or a scary text message claiming there's a problem with your account. It's designed to get an emotional reaction out of you, to make you panic or get excited, so you click that link without thinking. And once they hook you, well, they start reeling in your sensitive info. And we're not talking small potatoes here. They're not just after your username for some random account. No, they want the keys to your entire digital kingdom. We're talking passwords, bank account details, credit card numbers, basically everything they need to steal your identity. And that can cause some serious, long-lasting damage. So how do you fight back? How do you protect yourself? This is where that toolkit we talked about becomes your shield. Your media literacy skill is what kicks in and makes you look closer at that email. You start asking, wait, does that logo look a little weird? Are there typos? And your digital citizenship skill, that's the part that tells you, hey, maybe just don't click on sketchy links from people you don't know. These are your primary lines of defense. Now look, these skills are obviously super important for staying safe online, but it's so much bigger than that. This isn't just about avoiding scams. This is about building a foundation for success that starts in the classroom and carries you all the way through your career. When you really boil it down, building these digital literacy skills has a huge payoff in three main areas. First, academic success. Students just do better in school when they can find and manage information effectively. Second, and we've talked a lot about this, is simply navigating the online world safely. And third, it's about being ready for the future. Because let's be real, almost every single job out there now demands these very skills.
So it really all comes down to this one simple idea. Digital literacy isn't some optional extra credit or a niche skill just for the super techie kids anymore. It is the new baseline. It is the absolutely essential toolkit that every single student needs to build a successful, safe life in this crazy, interconnected world we live in.
So I'll just leave you with this one question to think about. Whether it's spotting fake news, protecting your own privacy, or even just mastering a tool that could have saved you a ton of time, what's the one digital skill you really wish you had learned a lot sooner? I bet whatever you just thought of really highlights just how crucial this toolkit has become, not just for students, but for all of us. Thanks for tuning in.